I wanted to show you one more ChiSquare, results from one more ChiSquare analysis, to illustrate how useful ChiSquare can be for looking at associations for categorical variables. And I'm assuming many of you will have these types of variables, and another example is useful. So this is data that's available to you under February 6th. There's also an information sheet about this data set. This is real data, and it was collected to understand the rate at which students and young adults were completing Gardasil shots to protect against HPV. And these were all females, so there's no variable for sex. These were all females. And we have these variables of age groups, so we can see the age groups of basically considered adults to not adults. There's race, there's the number of shots they had, those who completed the shots, because more than one shot is needed, and then the type of insurance. Environment is whether they lived in suburbs or not, and then type of practice, pediatrics, family practice, or OBGYN. So we're simply going to look at type of insurance and the degree to which type of insurance is related to completing their shots. And so in this ChiSquare, remember, we go to descriptive statistics, we go to crosstabs. I have already done this once, but we'll do it all over. So I would put type of insurance in the column because one would think we want to see how, if one type of insurance results in better completion of shots than others. We want that ChiSquare statistics, so we click that box. We want those cells for columns because that's our what we consider to be a causal variable. And then we will display these custard bar charts. So let's go ahead. And now we have our results. This is a big data set. Great to have a big data set. For over 14,000, over 1,400 individuals. And now we have that crosstab table with completing shots or not. But one of the things to pay attention is the difference in numbers across these different types of insurance. And that's when these percentages tell the story much better than the frequencies. So we have most, the largest is private payer, the smallest is hospital based, only 84 compared to 723. And you can see the numbers for military and medical assistance. So that's why it is so important to structure these percentages so that they show you the percentage who completed these shots for each of these groups. So whether we put in whether they live in urban areas, suburban, or who their type of provider is, we want these percentages in rows, and we want that what we think of as causal variable in the column so we can make sense of those different predictors of completing shots. And we can see down here that we have a very significant result. P is less than 0.001. We never consider it to be zero, but the results were very significant. So let's take a look at that bar chart now. And you'll notice here that this bar chart doesn't tell us a lot, other than it shows us that fewer completed their shots than didn't across each one of these groups. We see that. But because we have so many fewer for hospital-based than we do for private payer, we just can't really make sense of these results from a bar chart. So what I did was I copied that bar chart into an Excel file. And you can see how I just copied and pasted it right up here. So let me move my graph. And I'm going to get rid of this graph. I didn't like it as much. So I copied that chart here, and then I created another chart that only had the percentages in and the information that I wanted. And when I created this chart, I even got rid of these headers of type of insurance and completed, and just the graph will be whatever you select. And so now you can see that this graph, which was, I just selected this and then inserted my chart, tells this story of which types of insurance had higher rates of completing the shots than others.